One to the famous bar featured in the television series Sex and the City. It is O'Neill's here in the neighborhood of Soho, and it is iconic because it is the bar where Steve and Aiden end up buying and owning. They end up renaming it to Scouts. And so join me today for a Cosmopolitan as we chat a little bit more about Sex and the City. This is a bonus video to our Sex and the City tour. And I'll just show you a peek inside, and then we'll show you more photos inside, which I absolutely love. Awesome, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. Also have a cup of water, please.
Yes, of course.
All right, so welcome everyone. Nice to see you here. We are at the Sex and the City bar. Join me for a Cosmopolitan. You know, it can't be a Sex and the City tour without Cosmopolitan. This area was about like an hour walk away, or a little bit less, about like 40-minute walk away from the West Village. We're right now in the neighborhood of Soho. Well, actually, we're right now in the neighborhood of Little Italy, or Nolita. Yeah.
Of course.
Awesome, thank you.
Of course.
So feel free to ask me any questions whatsoever as you join me for a Cosmopolitan. Now, if you were to take like a Sex and the City tour, official one, they always take you to this bar. So this is the bar where Aiden and Steve end up buying in order to make into Scouts. End up shocking all the women in the crew because they had no idea that Steve and Aiden were actually very close buds after Aiden broke up with Carrie. So let's take a sip. It tastes good. It's a sweet cocktail. It's light. Maybe it's deceivingly light. It's a bit like deceivingly light. It's a very interesting cocktail. It's very along the lines of like a Long Island iced tea, a martini. It's along those lines. It's pretty good. I like it. They'll probably get orders of Cosmopolitans all the time. If you go to newer bars, it might be a little bit trickier to get a Cosmo, because I'm gonna use Cosmo for short because it's a drink that was popular 20 years ago. It's no longer really that popular, and most bars, some bartenders, especially at normal bars, don't know how to make it. I actually don't know what is in it, so if anyone knows the ingredients to a Cosmopolitan, let me know in the comments. Ashley, you're not a drinker yourself. Hello, Umier. Hello, Ashley. Hello, Elisa. I'm part of the team 3. Where do you get your clothes from? I actually got this jacket, you know, funnily enough, right before doing this live stream, or the one in West Village, the official one. Someone approached me, a woman, and I think in her early 50s, who looked fashionable herself. It seemed like to be a West Village resident. She asked me, "Hey, who are you wearing?" You know, I never thought I would be asked, "Who am I wearing?" If
You can have this jacket if you want.
if I wasn't like going to like a award show. And I told her, no, I just got this at a vintage store, which I did. I got this at a vintage store in Washington, D.C. It's one of my souvenirs from Washington, D.C. And the cool thing is, it was at a vintage store where they had a lot of secondhand clothes that people have worn before. But this, on the sticker, and you can tell, was never worn before. And its hand stitching has no brand whatsoever. So it's like a mystery jacket. I don't know who made it. I have no idea why they made it and never bothered wearing it. That is even a bigger mystery to me. It's such a beautiful jacket. And I'm the lucky person, a lucky owner of this mystery jacket. So yeah, I ended up getting it in the vintage store. It looks like a jacket that costs like crazy amount of money, but luckily it was less than $100. That's the beautiful thing about fashion. You know, fashion during the era of Sex and the City, fashion was associated with big names. Really, in the show, you don't really see any of the 4 women go to a thrift store. You don't see them to go to a secondhand shop, a consignment shop. You don't see them do that. They usually go to the big stores. You see Carrie herself go to like Chanel and Dior in Paris, for example. You see Samantha buy the very famous bag, I think for Fendi, which is one of them. And of course, the other women go to other different shops. For shoes, they go to Manolo Blahnik or Jimmy Choo, which are high-end brands. They're boutiques. The thing is, after Sex and the City, a few other shows came out. Broad City, Girls, basically following kind of the torch of Sex and the City, but more in the real way, a little bit more of a down-to-earth way, and a little bit more of a diverse way, especially with Broad City. Well, it's not super diverse. They were Jewish Americans rather than white Americans. But they showed them go thrifting. So they started going thrifting in those shows. So Arlene says there was one time where Mary with Miranda and Carrie went to a thrift shop. Did they? Oh, of course I saw the show all at once, but there's so many episodes, 94 episodes in total. I don't remember that specific scene. Let me know, when was it? But I bet that scene, I don't really recall it well, but I bet they actually don't get anything. Maybe they did, maybe I'm wrong, but it was probably only that one scene. I would doubt that they did it more. I definitely don't remember them going any more times. The only Fendi bag I'll buy will be sold on the floor after hours, says Ashley. Yeah, one thing, you look around, there's a great plot line in Sex and the City where Carrie Bradshaw, the main character, ends up finding out that she ended up spending more than $40,000 in shoes and is in massive debt. So sometimes when I look around New York City, and we're in the neighborhood of Soho, I usually see people really well dressed, like amazingly well dressed, men and women alike. And sometimes they're very young, they're like in their early 20s. When I was in my 20s, I would see other people in their 20s like dressed extremely well. And I always wonder how the hell they're affording all of that. And yes, there are people who are well off, but I've had friends who live in the worst apartments who dress extremely well. And it's either for two reasons. Either they're savvy or they're in debt. Sometimes it's a mix of both. But I've known friends who are extremely savvy in getting the best deals. Best deals. And there's a few ways of doing that. For example, I got this jacket at $95 at a thrift store in Washington, D.C. $95 sounds like a huge price tag, but if you tried to get an emblem like this in any other store, even if you were to go to a Macy's or a Bloomingdale's, this would cost you well into the hundreds of dollars, if not thousands. Someone asked me just recently, why flowers? I like flowers. This is a personal taste of mine. I like flowers. A lot of people try to read too much into it. I've had a few awkward conversations with people in real life who read a little bit too much into the flowers thing. So, yeah, they read too much into the flowers thing. No, I just like nature. I believe that it's beautiful to wear things that are colorful. I believe in color. I don't think men, regardless of how you identify, should be limited to a boring color palette of dark grays and blacks. And I don't think wearing colorful things or flowers or pink is less masculine either. I don't agree with that. I don't think this is necessarily feminine or necessarily masculine. It's just a different expression of masculinity. For example, high heels came from men. Women co-opted high heels in the 1910s and 1920s because there was that second major feminist movement. And with each feminist movement, usually it's accompanied with a co-opting of men's fashion or men's style. And high heels was co-opted from men's style. Men used to wear high heels in the 1800s and 1700s. They were practical in the very beginning. They were meant to be perfect shoes for riding horse because it would be easier to be on the saddle. But then ended up becoming a fashion statement for men in a masculine way. Pink is another thing. Pink used to be mostly worn by men. Pink used to be a masculine thing. I'm not trying to get ownership of either masculine or feminine. What I'm trying to illustrate is that it is much more fluid. These definitions that we have today is much more fluid. It wasn't always that way and never will continue being that way. Things will keep on changing. I was one of the first men in New York City to wear floral shirts. I started wearing floral shirts about like 2014, about a little bit later, 2015, around there. I started wearing floral shirts. I used to wear like pattern shirts before then. So I was one of the very, very few guys wearing floral shirts back then. Either someone was wearing Hawaiian print that was, kind of like an older guy, maybe a tourist. Yeah, yes, you saw that, but men wearing actual floral shirts, very super rare. Very super rare. But what happened? 2 years ago, you can see it in my live streams. Suddenly, 2 years ago, I go from being the only guy with one of the very few guys with floral shirts. You have to go maybe to Williamsburg to see the few guys with floral shirts, or Bushwick, and then suddenly they're everywhere. And suddenly they're of all ages. Guys in their teens, 20s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, all ages wearing floral shirts. It's kind of crazy to think about. So feel free to ask me anything about Sex and the City or fashion in New York. Let's have a Sex and the City discussion. Let me get back to your comments. You're beautiful as you are, more than perfect. Say it out loud. Everybody should wear whatever they like. Indeed. Like Harry Styles. I definitely commend him. The same applies to fragrances. They are whatever you interpret them to be. Right. Fragrances, since smell is much more older sense, smell is our more primordial sense. Because if you notice, sometimes when you smell something, a vivid memory comes from something you completely forgot. And that's very indicative of how old the olfactory sense is, the smelling sense. So since smell is much older, there are a little bit more ingrained sense of masculine and feminine. And even though it is not as firm as people might make it out to be, I think with smell, it's a little bit more grounded in many, many more years of history. So I think even if you go a few hundred years back, someone who's wearing a floral sense would usually be associated with being feminine. Maybe that doesn't mean the person is feminine, but it's the scent would be associated with being feminine. Even 100 years ago or back, or 1,000 years back, I think that would be the case. Do your research, of course, but I think that would be the case because there are certain scents that are also associated with masculine, which is musk, for one. Musk is been associated with masculine for at least hundreds of years. Have you ever polished my nails? No, I'm not into that. I'm not into that. But more power to whoever is into that. Can we do an Upper East Side Sex and the City tour? Oh yeah, with the wedding tour. I'll look into it. I'll see if they are close by, Kim. Great question. I'll see if they're close by. But regardless, if I don't do it specifically with Sex and the City, I'll point it out because I'm going to do Upper East Side soon. So I'll point out exactly where they're going to marry. I'll keep that in mind so I can walk through it. Hi there from El Paso. Hello, Luis. Nice to see you here. So let me show you the scene where this scene takes place in. It's Scout's Bar. I'll show you the interior first. Oh, big finger. I ordered some food as well, so I'm excited to have some food. Hello, Bernal. Bernal, I hope you're doing well. I had a feeling of a bonus stream. How do people know? How do people know? Are you guys aware of my addiction to live streaming? Just like Carrie Bradshaw was addicted to to shoes. Are you aware of my addicted to live streaming? Luckily, I'm not spending $40,000 on live streaming. That's the interior of this place. Lots of loud music. I won't show inside from this perspective, but took photos so you can see it. All right, so let me show you the scene right here. You can't see my face, but there we go. So the main character, two of the main leads, Steve and Aiden, end up actually making their own restaurant. They end up becoming best buds after Carrie broke up and end up opening up their own bar. This is the bar that actually Steve worked in and met Miranda in the first place, and they call it Scout. And it was all filmed here on location on this place down here right today. Yeah, you see the scene right there. They're going to the opening party of Scout. And Carrie ends up like touching the wooden surfaces, which I show you the photos still here. And she ends up saying that it feels like Aiden is everywhere. Yeah. A few people have asked me, am I Charlotte, Carrie, Sam, or Miranda? You know, that's a great question. Let me know what do you consider yourselves? Are you Charlotte, Carrie, Samantha, or Miranda? Let me know in the comments. I watched the show in its entirety just this past February. I got absolutely addicted to it. I was making a fashion documentary. I realized how important Sex and the City was to New York City fashion that I ended up just deciding to watch the entire series. And you know, to be honest, I related a lot more to Samantha and her journey and her personality. I related more to Samantha. To be honest, I didn't like Carrie. I don't think I would be friends with Carrie, or I don't think I would date a Carrie. To be honest, I used to have a crush on Charlotte when I watched the show when I was younger. She just seemed so cute and so adorable and so beautiful to me when I was younger. But I relate a lot to Samantha. It would be the person I relate the most to. Especially towards the end, those final seasons. I don't know, just kind of played with my heartstrings at the end, where it was like, oh wow, like a lot of the stuff she's talking about is stuff I've been through. I never saw the show that deep. Maybe Miranda for the... I'll avoid that word, but what is Miranda Kim Control? I do love her more than SJP. Oh, Miranda is the redhead. Her name is... the actress is Cynthia Nixon, who ran for governor of New York against Andrew Cuomo 4 years ago, back in... I think it was like 2018, so a few years ago. The music is loud. Yeah, it is. I can't avoid the music. This will probably be... Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Can I also a side of mayonnaise?
Yes, of course.
All right, look at this. This is the California burger with some guacamole, some sauteed spinach and grilled onions, and truffle parmesan fries with the Cosmopolitan. This is not Sex and the City at all. I don't think Carrie... Did they ever eat a burger? They probably ate one burger. They probably ate a few burgers in the show. They ate more like the brunch. That was the thing that they ate more on the show. Mad food porn again. Yes, food porn again. So feel free to ask me any questions. Is it possible you'll be streaming with your equipment a live show in black and white? Asked Elisa. Oh, you know, I've done a few black and white shows. Let me try this. Oh wow. So truffle parmesan fries. Really good. Jesse says, I should know better than to watch the stream live. Oh yeah, Jesse. You know it. I gotta take off my jacket for this. With the Cosmo. Oh yeah. I've never been a fan of the series. I'm more of a fan of the food you're about to eat. We're gonna talk about Sex and the City about like 10 to 15 more minutes, but then we'll kind of open up the conversation to a bunch of other things. Awesome, thank you.
Of course, sure.
So Janice says brunch was the meet and greet. Kurihara says, oh yes, your jacket is so nice. Oh, I'm so glad you like it, Kurihara. So glad so many people are liking the jacket. You know, one thing about fashion, I'll give a little bit of my perspective. If you're traveling, you know, when it comes to travel, for a lot of people, shopping is a crucial part of it. And why there's someone playing music over there. Where's this sweater from? The sweater actually also got in Washington, D.C. It's Ralph Lauren, also got in Washington, D.C. I'll try to find a cardigan like this. So this is where I am. This is actually one of the spots of the Nikola Tesla tour. This is Nikola Tesla's third lab. Yeah, I think third or fourth lab. Yeah, I think it's most likely the third lab. Grand Street, right here. So this is the burger. Ooh, look at that. Oh, that looks good. Swiss cheese, guacamole, toasted potato bun, truffle fries. And this is Scout, yes. So no, this is called O'Neill. Scout isn't, the name of the bar isn't real. The actual bar where they filmed is real. And the interior is the same interior as in the show. So it looks like Aiden. All right, let's try this out. Ooh, it's getting chilly. Wow. Wash your hands. I did. Right before starting the live stream. All right. Well, it's a good combination. So the burger is 21. I think the Cosmo is around $15 to $18, around there. So 21 plus maybe $17. I didn't check the price for the cocktail. So this might be a $40-ish meal. Yeah, I mean, a lot of places are full right now. So this place is not that popular, I think, for a brunch time. But I like it's empty because it's easier to live stream in an empty place. And it's great. Let me tolerate no hate here whatsoever. So let me take care of that. It's a great location. So you're here in beautiful views. It's a beautiful place. You get what you pay for. Have you ever met a cast member? No, I never. I've only seen Cynthia Nixon. Actually, got a glimpse of her in my live video of the LGBT parade, the Gay Pride Parade, back in 2018. That's when I saw her. So this burger, very soft. Oh my God. They use Pat LaFredo, which is the same type of meat used in Shake Shack here in New York City. Do you ever get comments about who you're talking to? People usually see that I'm using the phone, so they assume that I'm doing a video, a vlog, or I'm FaceTiming. Robert, great question. Sometimes I have people ask me, yeah, I'll just say that I'm live streaming. It's happened many times on live streaming. Sometimes I sometimes do get weird looks, and people think I might just be crazy, but that's okay. That's okay. How's the Cosmo? It's very good.
How's everything tasty? Good. Let me know if you need anything.
So this tastes like a very fancy Shake Shack burger in a good way. I recommend it. This is actually really good food. You know, it's always a bit risky to go to bars and order food because you don't know. Usually bars don't specialize in food. They just sell it to kind of make extra money, and in certain situations they're actually obliged to, like during the pandemic. So usually food at a bar isn't that good, but here it's really good. They ask what they always ask when your mouth is full. Always happens. Always kitoka. Always. It's the funniest thing. No way, $21 a hamburger. Yeah, $21 a hamburger, ladies and gentlemen. You are so cool, fantastic person, says Tova. Oh, thank you, Tova. I appreciate it. All right, everyone, ask me anything. I'm told you have an alcoholic problem. If you try and stop drinking and can't, I can honestly say I haven't tried that. Ron, I do not have a problem with alcohol. But my heart goes out to you. If we're trying to recover that, know that if you're out at any single bar here in New York City, know that you can always grab a mocktail. And if you're hanging out with people who don't understand that you don't want to drink, don't hang out with them. I'll be very honest. Maybe family members, a significant other. You got put that line. I do too. You know, I do like my drinks, but if I'm not feeling for drinking, I will not drink. So know that here in New York City, it's very open to making you a mocktail, which is a non-alcoholic cocktail. And you could potentially ask for like a mocktail of a cosmopolitan. I'm not sure how they'll make it. They'll probably add more soda instead. It'll just taste more like a soda with some lemonade. But at least you can have it in a Cosmo glass. So Jan left 530 stars. Thank you so much, Jan. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the stars, Jan. Phyllis is saying move on. Phyllis, this is a casual conversation. We're going to talk in a bunch of different angles, but I hope in the entirety of the conversation you end up getting some type of value. You know, that's what I hope from these videos. I understand they're not jam-packed with information, and the conversation might sound not so interesting, but to many people they are, and I hope you understand. Non-alcoholic options are offered at pretty much every beer brewery. Yes, there's a lot of beer places that also have non-alcoholic beer. You'll find that pretty often. Yeah. And you can always trust. I would say you can trust the waiters, the bartenders, the barkeeps. They will tell you what's non-alcoholic. No one's gonna deceive you here. Not like other countries where you might, it's a bit harder sometimes to trust the people in the food industry. Have you tried burger with BRGR? I haven't tried that place. It's more like a fast food place, so I haven't had the desire to try it, but let me know if you enjoyed it. Oh, Phyllis, sorry, I misread. Sorry. Do I like Vietnamese food? I do. I do like Vietnamese food. Chrissy says, be yourself, pal. Love your content. I'm so glad you do. Thank you. Where's Urbanist going after his food? Oh, I'm not sure. Not sure. Do you guys want to go for a walk in Soho? Let me know. So this is the former police department of New York City, the headquarters of the police department, back in the late 1800s, early 1900s. This used to have a underground passageway that would lead to this bar. And this bar, I think this was the bar. No, it wasn't this one. It was the other bar down there. So it's another bar. There was another bar down there. Leads to that bar. Underground. I did a small video on it. Phyllis says, I had a great summer because of you. I'm so glad. You can drive, so these are great trips. I'm so glad. This is so cool, says A. Rodriguez. I'm so glad. Thanks for the building history. My pleasure. It was a police department. Literally, the police built a tunnel so they can drink during Prohibition, where it was illegal, and they were arresting people who were drinking. Thanks for the cool history. Now it's a condominium, so there's very rich people living in there. Truly great burger. I'm actually really impressed. Really impressed. Is the burger cooked? Yeah. It's medium rare, but they made it more like medium well. Can't complain. Here in New York City, it's I think very few places sell any raw beef. It's unfortunately a taboo here in the U.S. Not so much a taboo in France to eat raw beef. Looks like $21 worth. With the amount of fries that they put in here, actually I think it might be a little bit more expensive because the fries, truffle fries is a bit of a surcharge, maybe like $2. So this might be a $23 burger, but it's worth it because the fries are very good. Very good. So who makes the jacket I usually wear? The one I bought today, I don't know who made it. Bought it in a vintage shop. No one wore it. Had no labels, has no brands in it. It's a mystery jacket. The one I wear the other times is a company called Scotch and Soda from New Amsterdam. I mean, not New Amsterdam, from Amsterdam. Having fish and chips and mushy peas and bread cake for your birthday as well. You have fish and chips in New York City. We have a few fish and chips. Oh no, we're good right now. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Very nice service. Fish and chips. Do I do fish and chips? Yeah, there's a few fish and chips places here. I used to go to a place called Chip Shack in Brooklyn in Park Slope. I haven't seen it in a while. So I'm not sure if they're still open. There's I think Salt and Battery right by where I grabbed the scones the other day at Greenwich Avenue in Greenwich Village. That place I haven't tried it yet. I've heard it's good fish and chips. And there's another fish and chip place in what is Gansevoort Market. I'm not sure if it's still open because of the pandemic, but it's in Gansevoort Market. It's pretty good. Yeah. Janice says, I can't wear my backpack with my jacket today. It will ruin the shoulders. Yep, that's why no backpack for me today. And I just had a cheeseburger. Ooh, you did. You have to treat yourself now and again. Yes, you do. Yeah, guys, treat yourself now and again. No. There's Oh, Elisa, that's private. So whatever you read, that's all I'll talk about. What bar are you at? Lisbon. So I am at O'Neill's, which was featured in Sex and the City.
See that?
Do you have any thrift stores?
Right beyond.
A few.
Thank you.
There's a few thrift stores I like. They're mostly, the one I like the most is L Train Vintage. I recommend that one in the East Village. They also have another location on the L Train stop, but in Bushwick. It's an even bigger one. And there's a bunch of awesome vintage stores all along Bushwick, which I recommend. Don't you worry about eating a burger? No, I am not concerned about food in terms of the pandemic. Only with indoor dining. Do your research, but after I've done my own research, I don't feel concerned. That's what I'll say. How much for a drink in the burger? $23 because I got truffle fries, so it was a little bit more expensive. And like $17 for the cocktail, around there. So what's the best place to see EDM? Output in Williamsburg is probably the only place I know. I don't see too much EDM. There is a few other places I would recommend. Maybe search the website ohmyrockness.com to see more venues. I don't know too much about the EDM scene. I've done one live video in the nightclub, and it was in Output in Williamsburg. It was really fun. I worked at Trader Joe's, so I don't worry, says Jessica. Yeah, it won't be an issue unless if you eat rare bat. Yep, I think that's the case. And how much for a drink and burger? I answered that one. Is there enough exhaust or dirt coming from the street? I don't feel too much exhaust or dirt. Obviously, it's a little bit more polluted than, say, eating in the tiny little cobblestone streets of, say, like Rome, or eating in the side streets of Paris, which have a little bit less vehicles, but it doesn't feel bothersome here. It feels bothersome when I'm right by a double wide street. This is a tiny street, as you can see over here. Very tiny, right? And the street right in front of me, another tiny street. So there's not that much car traffic. But if you go to a double wide street or a big avenue like 6th Avenue, 5th Avenue, yeah, for me, I've noticed it's a bit bothersome with so much cars. So what's my favorite takeaway food? Asked Brendan. I try to now go to small businesses. So I go to my friend's Pizza Collective whenever I can. But if it's like a normal time, I like poke bowls, which are rice bowls with raw fish, usually salmon or tuna. I also love going to Dig In, Sweet Green, banh mi sandwiches. I think Lorraine asked me earlier, do I like Vietnamese sandwiches? I do. I love Vietnamese food. I usually go for banh mi sandwiches, which are very inexpensive. And they're made with cured meats, but the cool thing is, along with the cured meats, is that they're jam-packed with vegetables. And it's a bit healthier than say the equivalent of buying a pizza for the same price, I would say. Just a bit. Yes to all the food, says A. Rodriguez. Is it onigiri? Sorry, I mispronounced that. Onigiri. I tried onigiri a few places. I don't usually buy it because there's not that many places with onigiri, and they're a bit too expensive for a small onigiri. I'm not gonna spend $3 for onigiri. I think I would spend $1 for onigiri. Is this in a cluster zone? And what color is the zone is? I don't know what the zones are. I don't really follow the news. I think Manhattan will probably be lower than the rest of the city for the main reason it's not so super concentrated with people. I might be a little bit different with Little Italy and Soho, where it might be a little bit more concentrated. or I mean East Village in Soho. But I don't think it's as high as Brooklyn or as Queens. But that is just assuming. Do your own research. Can you go to a buffet, Golden Carol in the Bronx? I don't know. I don't feel so safe eating at buffets anymore. I usually like my food fresh. It sounds like a hoity-toity thing to say, but I think you have very fresh food for very inexpensive. A lot of people don't realize sometimes that a Shake Shack burger, which is made fresh and never frozen, costs the same as a Big Mac at McDonald's. It's the same price. And yet you get a fresh burger, but McDonald's you don't. So someone earlier asked me, how did I get started with live videos? I only started doing live videos on YouTube about 3 months ago at this point. Gained now 14, 15,000 subscribers because of it. YouTube really likes live streaming, and it's really working, so much so that I'm getting more views on YouTube now than on Facebook. So I really appreciate all the Facebookers watching, and all you guys have lent so much amazing support, and also been such wonderful viewers and commenters and members of the Urbanist community for so long. I really appreciate you getting the show started. But the place where it's thriving right now is indeed YouTube. Facebook just doesn't show my live videos to random people. So I got my loyal following on Facebook watching, tuning in, which is awesome. And the people who do share, spread the word. Like Gayatri and Joe, and there's a few others, Kay as well. Many other people share as well. But beyond that, it doesn't really work too much. I started live streaming 4 years ago, in general, on Facebook. Dang, didn't know you're so new to. 4 years ago. So new to YouTube. 4 years on live streaming in general. Since 2016. Hello, I'm late again. Oh, hey Jackie. Hope you're doing well. Welcome. I love live YouTubers. Oh, I'm so glad you do, A-Rod. I'm so glad you do. Thanks so much for watching. Who else do you watch? Let me know in the comments. Probably watch my friend Action Kid. He's the most famous one right now on YouTube. Ni hao ma. Yi hao. Welcome. Nice to see you here. I wish I knew more Mandarin. I like watching streams since I'm not in the office anymore, says Shields. Yeah, I feel you. All right, it's getting chilly now. I'm gonna finish a few more of these fries. Feel free to ask me any other questions, and I think a walk is needed. Someone left a super chat. I did not see who it was. Please let me know who it was, whoever left that super chat. Do remind me. And if you left a PayPal or stars on Facebook, do let me know. So ahora, y cualquier persona está mirando en español, estamos ahora comiendo en la barra que está en la programa Sex in the City. Sexo en la ciudad. Y esta barra es bien famoso turísticamente. Ellos venden estos cócteles y la comida es bien buena. Pueden preguntarme cualquier cosa en español. This is the Sex and the City bar. You can ask me anything in Spanish. Any plans to celebrate when I hit 20,000? Yeah, maybe there will be something fun. Yeah, probably happen very soon. So, it'll probably happen soon. So I also like your TikTok shorts. I'm so glad you do, Kay. Carol sent stars. Thank you so much for the stars, Carol. And you're the best. I enjoy all your live videos. Stephanie, all the mods, thank you so much for reminding me who was the super chatter. Chrissy, thank you so much for the super chat. And Lisbon, thank you so much for the stars. I appreciate it. So this is sponsored by Chrissy, Lisbon, a few others who have left super chats. Thank you so much. I'm just checking YouTube. I'm having a Sex and the City day. Yep, this is Sex and the City day. About to finish this Cosmo, and I think it is quite appropriate to do a walk through Soho, because, you know, it's a fashionable area of New York City. It might as well. this video is probably going to be heavily copyrighted because of all the songs, but I can't control it. It's worth it for showing you this live experience of drinking a Cosmo. And I sent stars in the beginning. Thank you so much, Susan, for stars. I appreciate it. I don't see stars so clearly on the app I'm using, so always do remind me if you send stars. A Cosmo Kramer. Is that a reference to Seinfeld? How was dim sum last night? Dim sum was amazing. Really great dim sum. Maria, is it Maria? You're still in your pajamas. Oh, hashtag COVID. I'm not sure if you are saying you have COVID, but or it's because of the pandemic. If it's just because of the pandemic, hell yeah, embrace those pajamas. If you are sick, my best wishes. I hope you recover and quickly. And what is your favorite song in the series? Sex and the City actually didn't have too much music associated with it. Like, the music didn't stick out to me. I like the theme song. The theme song is what really stuck out to me. That I think is the biggest marker of the show. All right, a few more bites and then off to walk. Which Sex and the City movie did I enjoy better? Let us know in the comments. Which was your favorite movie of the two? For me, number one was the better one because it just felt more like an episode. Number two was weird. I loved it. I loved it because, you know, it was like Dubai and it felt very adventurous, and the movie was just like very fantastical in a good way. It felt like bright and I liked it. But number two did not feel like Sex and the City. It felt weird. You know, Sex and the City to me is New York. It just felt weird to, especially go to Dubai, and I even go to like a New York-like city, like London or even Hong Kong or San Francisco. He just went to Dubai, which was a weird move, but I enjoyed the fantasy of it all and how bright and humorous the show was. The humor all was also a bit more hokier, more cornier. Hey, Cynthia, on my PayPal, sure. Thank you so much for wanting to contribute right here. And Joe for the Cosmopolitan. Thank you so much. I tried to send stars, but it didn't go through. No worries. Facebook is a bit weird with stars. It's a bit hard. Cosmopolitan is 1/2 ounces citrus vodka, 1 ounce cornietro, don't know how to pronounce that, lime juice, and freshly squeezed cranberry juice, and with a garnish of a lemon wedge. Cheers for doing these videos. You're the best for keeping me entertained. Saint sent the PayPal for the Cosmo. Oh, thank you so much, Eddie. Eddie and Joe are sponsoring the Cosmo. I agree. Seemed like a commercial for Dubai. It really did. It really did seem like a commercial for Dubai. Let me know, what's your favorite Sex and the City movie? I wish they would have made number 3. So I don't want to spoil it, but something big would have happened in number 3. Very big would have happened in number 3, and it's sad that they didn't quite get to this big deal. It's quite sad. Even though it would have been sad circumstances to see it in movie form as well. Dubai probably financed the flick. They probably did. They probably did. I bet that they got a lot of funding from Dubai. How's the burger? The burger was excellent. Great fries. The burger tasted like a very fancy Shake Shack burger in a good way. It is pricey, but great location. Whenever indoor dining feels a bit more comfortable, it's a gorgeous interior. So it seems like a great spot. Not so full during the middle of the day. I don't think people come here for brunch. this might be a more lively place at night if you like your setting more lively. For me, it depends. Sometimes I like things a little bit more quieter. Do you watch any TV shows from the 1980s? Not so much. No, not so much. The Wonder Years I saw a little bit when I was little, but it always kind of made me fall asleep. The Wonder Years when I saw it when I was younger. What's a good tip during the pandemic, Sarah? Great question. I would recommend giving 20% tip. It sounds like gigantic, but there's a lot of issues with when it comes to paying staff and bartenders. They don't get paid a full salary, and while the responsibility I think should not be thrusted upon the customer, the responsibility should be on the restaurants. The thing is, the pandemic is a double whammy, where not only are the restaurants, the practices need some updating, but beyond that, the double whammy. The check, please. The double whammy is that the restaurants are also paying, and some restaurants with good intentions where they treat their staff well. I'm not sure what the situation is here. The guy who's serving me seems like he's really in a good mood, so I assume it's a good work environment. Some other places might be very bad work environments, and they exploit their workers, and they're in tough times. So while my sympathy goes out to the restaurants who are doing their best, both for their employees and for the customers. So I would give 20% for that reason. Maybe a little bit higher sometimes, but I would give 20%. But I would be very discerning in which restaurants I go. I would your dollar is a vote, even when it comes to food. So give your vote to restaurants that you really like, really believe in. If you're local, go to those local places. If you're a tourist, also go to those local places, small businesses. And here in New York City, luckily, it's more casual, more calm to go to small businesses. There's not so much risk of being cheated like you might in other countries. Some other countries where you have a little bit more risk of people cheating you. So that's why I would recommend. Best 80s show, says Ride My Truck, is TJ Hook. Interesting. I've never seen that show. I've heard of it though. Cynthia is a legend and sending me a PayPal. Thank you so much, Cynthia. I appreciate it. Thank you. Cynthia is joining in to sponsor this meal. Thank you. We don't tip much in England. Yep. And the main difference is in Europe and many other places around the world, but I can speak for Europe because I've done the research for this, is that they pay their workers a full salary. And if you notice in some countries, like specifically France and Italy, the waiters there are full-time waiters. Like, that's their career. In many cases, happily so. Like, that's their chosen career. And that's why a waiter in Europe, especially in France or in Italy, tend to be on the older side because that's their career. They get paid a full salary. They can sustain whatever life they can sustain because of their work. In the US, waiters don't work as a career generally. I'm generalizing, of course. They usually work it as a second job or as a supplemental job. So the stereotype is you're an actor, you're trying to make extra money. You know, if I'm me being a video maker, an option would be to go and wait tables. People do that, right? That's what happens in America. The reason is, in America, they don't give a full salary. That's why you have these people who work in the restaurant business that are doing it for extra cash, for tips. Why don't we pay a full salary? Because we have a tipping wage. And a tipping wage is a small percentage. For example, minimum wage a few years ago was $8 an hour. The tipping wage, when the minimum wage was $8 an hour, was $2 an hour for the tipping wage. The waiter is making a few years ago was making $2. I'm not sure. Right now it might be $4. $2 an hour, which is insanely low. Insanely low. And unfortunately, that stems due to slavery. It's a much more complicated issue, but one of the main reasons for the tipping wage was because there used to be a lot of African Americans who were slaves or after emancipation, were freed but were still oppressed, and they had these tipping jobs, maybe doormen, waiters, cooks, etc. And they didn't want to pay them full. They didn't want to thrust the responsibility onto the customer. So it's a very complicated subject here in the US. But that said, just give 20%. Go to a restaurant you like, give 20%. Yeah. And I like going to the smaller restaurants. I'm going here because it's a tourist site, but I like going to the smaller restaurants where the owner is there. And I feel even better giving that 20% tip. Are you getting insured as a full-time job? No, I am not. No, YouTube don't have quite that arrangement as a freelancer. Amazing. Thank you.
Of course.
So total was $43.55. All right, now we're gonna walk through Soho. Let me know if you have any questions. Lisbon, you gave more than 20%. Oh,
Yeah. Thank you.
I'm in awe of waiters and waitresses. They can never handle the stress and multitasking ahead. Can we go to Pier 26 to see what people are around there? Where's Pier 26? What's the intersecting street? Let me know, 4K. What did I study, Alej? I studied electrical engineering. Electrical engineering. Usually people ask that because they think I studied either history, architecture, journalism, or filmmaking. None of those things I studied. It was all electrical engineering. Like the history I studied was the history of like math. You know, Pythagorean theorem, where it came from. That's the history.
Here you go, sir. Thank you so much.
Have a great day. We got anarchists. Just joking and being sarcastic. Let's see, you're the call. Is the call of anarchy here in the U.S. Here in New York City. All right, let me leave a nice tip. It was $43.55. Thank you everyone who sponsored this meal. For anyone who sponsored, let me know if I can answer any questions about this place. So I'm leaving $10 tip, so just a little bit higher than 20%, for example. New York City can get expensive, FYI, but there's a lot of cheaper places. I came here because of tourist reasons, but to show you on video. But you can eat on the cheap, and I usually do show how to eat on the cheap in New York City. There's many places, a lot of options. You're not limited here in New York. This is not a full picture of eating in New York. We're right next to Banh Mi, which is only $5, and it's the gigantic sandwich. We're right next to Avella, what's the name? Avella cheese shop, and it's $10 for a gigantic hero that's the size of a small child. So there's a lot of cheap bites all around here. Don't think that New York City is all expensive, and we're only a few blocks away from Chinatown, where you can eat 20 dumplings for $5. But the reason I come to places like this, the reason I show it is because I myself as a tourist, I like going to restaurants that might have been featured in the film. I might like want to treat myself. And let me grab one more of these fries because it's so good. Put some water. Dave says, keep those receipts, tax write-off. I know, I do. This is indeed tax deductible, and for good reason. I'm covering food. It's entertainment. It's video. It's part of my career. If anyone wants a little bit of insight, if you're a creator and you cover food, or you cover a museum, or you cover some type of attraction, deduct it on taxes if you're American. But I'm not a tax consultant, so do your own research. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys ready to walk through Soho? Let me know what's the intersecting street of Pier 26. Maybe I'll go. And what's your favorite place in New York? Favorite neighborhood is this one, Nolita. Let's go. Kenyon, do I have an accountant? Currently, yes, I do. Actually, do. She even appeared in my videos. There we go. Where do I get my floral mess? Smart_glamour. Oh, I gotta write her name down. Smart_glamour. Another person I would recommend is the amazing Millie. I haven't used her mask too much yet. It's a little bit better for heavier weather, but Millie is also another great one. But the one I'm using right now, Smart_glamour. So this was O'Neill's. This was the restaurant. I hope you enjoyed it. And let's walk around. I see a lot more women wearing the styles from Emily in Paris. Seems like to be a huge deal. And they even have heat lamps. Ooh, nice and toasty. Okay, so sorry, I missed the intersecting street for Pier 26 a few times. Do remind me one more time. I'll keep my eyes peeled. Look at this. Oh, a truck. Hey, Lori, you heard I have a book out. I'm doing well, Lori. How are you? Yes, I do have a book out. It came out actually last January, February. It's called Retro Wave on Amazon. Retro Wave on Amazon. It's south of Late Street. Ooh, I've never heard of Late Street. Where is Late Street? Is that? Oh, that's Tribeca. Oh, that's Tribeca. Oh, let's see. North Moore, Pier 26. Retrowave. What is it about? It's about a woman who's a quantum programmer in a top secret tech company and ends up mistakenly melding a reality of the 1980s with her current timeline. It's crazy. It's like Back to the Future, but Back to the Future meets Stranger Things. That's the book. I gotta work on a better one-line synopsis for it. Oh, we're the Holland Tunnel. Spring Street? Oh, a little bit further down on Spring Street, so around Tribeca. I know what you're talking about. Sounds like Netflix needs to adapt that book. I think they do. I think it might work for a movie. Back to the Future meets Stranger Things. Yep, exactly. That's exactly my book. I'm sorry, I just landed. Where are you now? Canal and 6th is near there. All right. Is there time travel? In a way, yes. In a way. It deals with parallel realities and the multiverse. And quantum computing. So I use some of my engineering knowledge with that. Lori says, that sounds fun. I might pick up a copy. Mr. Bot says, I would like this. Yes, please. And there is a character. There's 2 characters in there. One of them is based on Elon Musk, and the other one is based on Jeff Bezos. If you read the book, you might know who they are. Audrey Hepburn. If I could time travel to any era, where would I go? That's ride my truck. I would go... It's a tough question. I'm very curious to see ancient Rome. I would go ancient Rome, though it probably won't be too pleasant to live there. But I would love to travel to ancient Rome. In New York City, I would love to see New York City in the 1930s. I absolutely fell in love with the film King Kong by Peter Jackson, the one that came out in the early 2000s. That film is amazing and captures New York City in the 1930s so well. And I know it's during the Great Depression and everything, but there's something alluring about the style and I don't know, just the vibes. Are you near Chinatown? I am, Brendan. So, Brendan, hello. Nice to see you here. Hello, Mónica. Tu abrigo y yo mi pileta de natación. Qué bien. No entiendo qué tanto estás diciendo, porque bien que te canta abrigo mío. Tengo que practicar a leer español. This channel is awesome because it is interactive and exciting. Ooh, I'm glad. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So, 4K Wonder, I appreciate the recommendation for Pier 26. Stay tuned. I'll cover that next week. But since this is a very Sex and the City day, I want to show you Soho because it is really thriving today because it's Saturday, and cars are pissed off because they want to take away all pedestrians. So yeah, we're gonna walk around Soho. I appreciate the recommendation. Stay tuned next week. I'll cover Pier 26 because I know it's a new location. A lot of people want to see it. So stay tuned next week. She's saying that you're wearing a coat and she's in the bathing suit. Oh, thank you. Sorry. Awesome. That's awesome. Cool. Qué bien, Mónica. Que estoy usando un jacket y tú estás usando un traje de baño. Qué bien. That's funny. All right, let's walk around. Ooh, coffee shop. We're going to Soho? Yes. I'll show you one final location for Sex and the City, which is a little bit further into Soho. Oh, that was a good meal. I love the Cosmopolitan. Can we go inside Manolo Blahnik's store? I would love to. Is there one in Soho? I know they have one in Midtown, and we're a bit far away from that. But if anyone knows if there's a Jimmy Shoes, I don't think there's a Jimmy Shoes. Jimmy Shoes is in Midtown as well. If anyone knows if there's a Manolo Blahnik in Soho, let me know in the comments. Why don't you make Retro Wave into a short film yourself? That is my intention, Kay. That is my original intention. Yeah, that's what I want to do. I haven't attempted it yet. So here we're in Kenmare Street. We see all the way down there. We see the Williamsburg Bridge. Lots of life over here. So this is Houston. No, this is Kenmare. It goes all the way down to the Williamsburg Bridge. Manolo Blahnik is on 54th Street. Yeah, I imagine it was in Midtown Manhattan. Yeah, I wish there was one nearby. Hey, Alej, thanked me for my Lennon and Bowie videos. I think a lot of people are interested in such topics. Muchas gracias porque tú lo haces. Qué bien, Alejandro. Qué bien que te gustó esos videos de Lennon. Son artistas tan que me inspiran mucho. Son bien talentosos y han cambiado el mundo de una manera bien profunda. Y qué bien que puedo decir la historia de ellos. So they have changed the world and really done so many great things. So I'm so grateful that I've been able to tell their story. Was Soho the birthplace of the hippie movement? Asked Ride My Truck. Ooh, no. Hippie movement was more associated with California, not New York. While there is the Bohemian movement in New York, which was around the 1920s, 10s, 20s, and 30s. It's not really associated with the hippie movement. The beatnik movement is also different from the hippie movement. Hippies are most associated with wearing loose clothing, free love, smoking marijuana, also taking LSD. That is more something that popped up along the college campuses of California, and also became a cultural icon in New York State, in Woodstock, the festival, but not so much in the city. Beatniks were a different breed. Beatniks were intellectuals, into poetry, anti-conformist, but in a different way. Smoking weed as well, but more about smoking weed and talking poetry rather than smoking weed and doing free love and listening to music. So different movements. Great question. CB, hello. Have I been to Coachella? No, I've never been to Coachella. I've been to the amazing Governor's Island Festival, Governor's Ball Festival. Absolutely love that. So very full. And there's a lot of people here. Whoa. So there's like a few pop-up shops. That's why people are making lines. So you're really banging here today, as they would say here in New York City or in the US. This is Ruby's. This is one of my top brunch recommendations in New York City. Australian-owned place as well. Many without masks. Yeah, that is the case. Yeah. Well, more people are wearing when it comes to drinking and eating. No, a lot of people take them off. Don't let Cuomo see that crowd. I won't tell him, Krishna. Busy street. Oh yeah. Good music over here. This is it. This is Mulberry Street. Lots of great boutiques. Like this fabulous yellow jacket. Whoa, that's really cool. They should have that in men's. And one of the best pizza by the pie places, Ruby Rosa. Really great place. Sells a great vodka slice. Probably the best vodka pizza you can get is here. Manolo Blahnik will have an opening in 2020. Oh, interesting. They're opening up a new store. Cool. One of the best stationery stores is here. This is McNally Jackson. Here's one of those consignment stores where they have different brands just at a cheaper price. So Kenmare is the cross street. This is Mulberry. Here the streets cross each other. Avenues come a little bit later, after Houston. Oh, another, I think this might be another consignment store. Yeah. What's a vodka slice? Vodka is like cream mixed with red sauce. So it's like a pink sauce. Do you know many people in the performance world who have been struggling due to the pandemic closing? Yes, I do. I'm friends with a lot of actors and people in the theater industry. It's sad that things are tough for them, yeah. In the film world, things have been picking up again. But theater, no. Theater, there's very little chance. So some of my friends have just been pivoting to other careers. Oh my god, I just arrived. What did I miss? Kathleen, you missed the entire dinner. You're late, Kathleen. You missed the entire dinner. Tisk, tisk, tisk. We were waiting for you. Now we're in Soho. Now we're in Nolita. We're crisscrossing around Nolita. One of my favorite neighborhoods. These are not consignment stores, says Michelle. Michelle, what would you call them? But this is amazing. I miss New York City. Maybe they're small boutiques. Sometimes they are small boutiques.
Yeah.
Things are... CV says, oops, someone is late to FB on Ariel's live. Yep, tisk, tisk, tisk. We were waiting for you. We had dinner and everything. An entire chair. Brendan, we have a... What's this? Brendan, you say we have a street in Sheffield called Gold Street. It's filled with jewelry shops. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. In Sheffield. There's a lot of jewelry makers all around here on Prince Street, all up and down the street. You know what? I'll show you. So let's jaywalk and show you this. Something I rarely show because I really do videos in the afternoon. So here's an opportunity to see a little bit of Soho life. What's the official time that restaurants are closing? Now it's 10 p.m. 10 p.m. 10 p.m. is the official time. Beautiful paintings and everything. Art booths, yes. Some of them are photography and painting. Some of them are jewelry. These guys, there's always booths here. For years, I've seen them. Some people have been also here for years. When will you do your next live stream? My scheduled ones are Wednesdays and Saturdays at 1 p.m.
25, mix and match every third one is out.
Anything else isn't really planned ahead of time and spontaneous. So here, it's Cafe Gitan. This is one of my spots for the best avocado toast. Now, I think Cafe Gitan was in one of the Sex and the City episodes. Forgot which one it was. But Cafe Gitan is also a place where you can see a lot of A-listers, or especially people, A-listers in the fashion world. You'll see them dining here, Cafe Gitan. It looks very kind of like a cheap little cafe, and it is. It's kind of like a cheap little cafe. It's nothing super fancy, and I think that's why the allure It's also in a really cool street. It's one of the few places before the pandemic that had outdoor seating as well, here in Soho. So pro tip, if you're here, especially during Fashion Week, come over here. You might see a very famous person in fashion or famous Instagrammer. They're always here. So much so that when I went there to do my video, they told me if I was filming for a major media publication, because I think they're afraid of like tabloids or media sites bothering the celebrities or the people who are known over there. I do like your jacket. It says very pretty. Oh, thank you. Thank you, CB. Se ven muchos vendedores. Oh, sí, hay muchos vendedores. Have you been to Prince Street Pizza? Yeah. It's around the corner. And have I been a few times? Yeah, I've been many times actually. I like it. It's an amazing pizza. Absolutely love it. People are obsessed with it. That I know, yeah. Here's a graveyard. Fashion and graves. Nothing beats a little bit of fashion, high-end cocktails, and going to a graveyard. Oh yeah, that's how we roll here on Urbanist. So that graveyard is the graveyard Old St. Pat's. This is the Basilica. This is the Basilica of New York, Roman Catholic Basilica. Doesn't look like a basilica. You might think basilicas are gigantic, but they just mean basically the church that's anointed, I think, by the Pope himself. There's only one per city.
Put it in there.
Kathleen says we roll with it. Oh yeah. How about Christmas walk? There will be a lot of Christmas walks permitting that I'm able to continue walking because of the pandemic. Who knows what will happen, but if I can continue taking public transportation, I will do videos of Christmas walks. This is Sex and the City based today. Yes, it is. Do you show Blacklist? Do you watch the show Blacklist? I haven't watched the show Blacklist. I know it takes place in New York, and a few people have pointed out places I've shown that have been on Blacklist. Macy's has their windows up. Oh, good to know. So here's like a cool old style Italian cafe. I like it. Look at that. It's beautiful. Have you met any celebrities? Asked Brendan in New York City. The only celebrities I've said hi to is James Cameron and Action Bronson, who's the rapper and food show host in Vice. Basically, that's it. But I've seen many others and haven't said hi. Mostly because I don't want to. I just want to respect their time. So I've seen Zachary Quinto, who's Spock in the new Star Trek movies, wearing the shortest shorts I've ever seen on a man. And this was this was before he came out. And I thought to myself, whoa. Yeah, those shorts are very, very short. I rapidly called my friend because we're both huge Star Trek and Heroes fans. And I just told him I saw Zachary Quinto, and he was telling me on the phone, like, hey man, just follow him. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. The other celebrity I saw was Justin Timberlake. Saw him in the West Village. I've seen Tom Hardy, which I needed to do a triple take, because I saw this man with a scraggly beard roaming the streets of New York. And I thought to myself, oh, that dude's wearing a suit too big for him. And that beard does not suit him well. And I noticed this huge neck tattoo. And I did a double take. It was like, well, it kind of looks like Tom Hardy. And then I did a triple take. I was like, wait, Tom Hardy doesn't have a gigantic neck tattoo. And definitely, Scarlet beer, I know, but not a neck tattoo. So I rapidly go on Google, search up photos of Tom Hardy at award shows, and lo and behold, everyone knows about the scarlet beard, but he does indeed have a neck tattoo. So it's on as well. I met Action Kid last year. He's a celebrity. Yep, Action Kid. He appears a lot. Let me know, what celebrities have you seen in New York? Let me know if you met any. I don't mean anything against Tom Hardy. I just found it very amusing that he did not look like a typical celebrity because, you know, he didn't have quite the most neat beard style and quite the best fitting suit. So let's go. Let's cross through here. Where do celebrities live in New York? This is one of the areas. Here lived David Bowie, final 10 years of his life. Many other celebrities live in this area. Let me know if you know of any others. Elisa says you loved my video about East Harlem on TikTok. Oh, I'm glad you did. Yeah. You'll see that video soon on my friend Hirby Barr's YouTube channel. He featured me in the tour of East Harlem, which is El Barrio, aka Spanish Harlem. Kay says, you're our celebrity. Oh, I appreciate that. Oh, here's the Supreme shop. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Supreme.
You want me to sell them the what's in there?
Not Supreme, which you can get in Canal Street.
Nah, the SB.
Look at that. So you can get a handbag that is resold on eBay for $20,000. Actually, I don't think this is a Supreme shop. Nope, this is not a Supreme shop. They're a reseller. Yeah, they're a reseller. So they're probably selling this luggage for $20,000 as well. $5,000 sneakers. I'm just joking. I'm not entirely sure what the prices are, but you would be surprised sometimes. They're crazy expensive. Oh, another clothing shop. A lot of people making lines today for clothing. Oh, thank you. The guy screamed at me, I love the blazer, in a very aggressive tone. Sounded like he wanted it. You're not way off about the prices of 4K. Yeah, I'm not way off. A little bit about Supreme. Supreme used to be right here. They closed down. They moved the store somewhere else, somewhere nearby. I think now it's in Williamsburg, not here. It used to be right here. And they would sell fairly normal prices, a little bit higher, like same prices you would find like at Bloomingdale's. So a shirt, button down might cost you $100, $200. But people would buy those button downs or the purses or those handbags or their sneakers and resell them for thousands of dollars. Lori, your sister met Tobey Maguire from the Spider-Man movies and got a pic with him. Ooh, that's so cool. Oh, that's awesome. James Spader lives in Greenwich Village. Oh, cool. Yeah, cool actor. He's done so many great work, including Blacklist. Hey, Chrissy and Krish. I wondered how much plywood the city has gone through this year. A lot. And all for nothing. They've been taking it down since then. So here's Crosby Street. Met Mikey from American Chopper, says Dave. Oh, cool. We met Times Square and it was super nice. Oh, that's awesome. They used to have a ton of movie premieres. Oh yeah, those days are now over. Louis Vuitton did a collaboration with Supreme. Yeah, they did. Makes me miss New York City even more than I already am, says Allison. Oh, Supreme, oh yeah, you're right, 4K Wanderer. Thank you for letting me know. So Supreme is now on 190 Bowery, which is that huge building that was abandoned for many years. Thank you for letting us know. So it's nearby. It's in Nolita now. Supreme. When will today's live stream end? Never, Johnny. It will never end. This is the final live stream that will continue on forever. I'll probably go on live for about 30 more minutes. Steven Spielberg yelled me at the hotel. Oh, Chris, I'm sorry to hear that. I've heard he's typically a nice guy. What happened? If I may ask. Too many people. Yoli, I would love to meet Tom Hardy when in New York. I heard he lives around the village. Yep, that's where I saw him. I saw him in the Greenwich Village. Esas construcciones son eternas. Sí, aquí Nueva York nunca está completamente construido. It's like the Truman Show. It will go on forever. The eternal live stream. Oh yeah, Jackie. Ariel, have we encountered... did you ask if you encountered some VIPs? Yeah. Justin Timberlake. Zachary Quinto. A few others. Tom Hardy. Looks too busy with cars. Oh yes, it is. So, one thing about coming to Soho, we're about to cross the street here, heading out into the neighborhood of Soho. I usually feel very underdressed. Even when I'm trying, I feel underdressed because people are so well dressed in Soho. But I have come to a point in my life where I feel that I need to share this with all of you. That I feel like I'm perfectly dressed for Soho. It's a momentous time in my life. I finally feel correctly dressed for this neighborhood. So let's explore. Oh, look at that sunset. Oh my God. Oh wow. I absolutely love the views of the street. This is Broadway. And you can basically look to the very tip of Manhattan. Rebel says, I don't think you're in the danger of being underdressed today. Chrissy, I should have more subs. You're so down to earth. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Kitoka, you're calling me a hipster. Kitoka, I was wearing this before it was cool. No, I'm just joking. Bernard says that is a Soho look. Yep. I'm looking very Soho today. It's funny, when I was watching Sex and the City, I was astonished to see Aiden wearing a floral shirt. I thought floral shirts became popular around 2016, 2015, but he was wearing one. And there was another character wearing one. I forgot who it was. Stanford was also wearing one. Her, Carrie's gay best friend. And I had to immediately text my friend who is a fashion head. He actually is featured in my documentary. His name is Dennis. And he told me it was like a small trend for a few years in the early 2000s. For like a year. It wasn't even that long. For like a year of men wearing floral shirts. So it was like the trend before the real trend of floral. All right, look at this setup over here. I don't believe you're ever underdressed. Oh, when you walk to Soho, trust me. Like, we're walking right now. Just keep your eyes peeled. Sometimes, you know, it depends on the day, but I think the later you're here at night, the better dressed people are. CV says, accept the compliment, Ariel. God damn it. All right, I will. I'll do my best. You need your white boots. Oh yeah. Come prepared. Here's Finale Cafe, one of the more famous Instagrams that people take here in Soho. A lot of people here. Today, this is very full. I am actually really shocked at how full today is. You can tell by the horns the city is alive again. Oh yeah. I'll show you the crazy long line for the clothing store. I'm not sure what clothing store it was, but it was a long line. Let's see if we can give it a look. Hey Paul, thank you so much for the super chat. Paul, what borough do I live in? I live right outside of New York City, right outside Queens. Nassau County. So the 6th borough of New York. Oh, this is the store with the long line. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, we have this line literally wraps around the block and to the other block, so 3 blocks, and it's for this place called Montclair or Montclair. Someone told me it was more French. Montclair. I'm not sure why this is such a big deal. Hey, how's it going? Just showing this behind you. Montclair. I'm not sure why this is such a big deal, but it's a big deal. The old man was funny. Yeah, he was giving me the evil eye. He was well dressed though. Jacqueline, you say it's hype. Yes, it is. I think so. All right, let's go. Well, he was a ray of sunshine. Yeah, the most sternest man in Soho. That sounds like a good name for an album by Bob Dylan. The sternest man in Soho. That's who he was. Why these lines? I'm not sure what's up with Montclair. Montclair might be like the new Supreme. One jacket costs $1,300. Oof, too much. All right, Polo, Ralph Lauren, right over here. All the Polo stores are really beautiful, but do visit the one in Midtown, or I mean in Upper East Side. I don't think Montclair is up with sales. I think it's more of the hype. So people buy, it's like Supreme, people buy jackets that are $1,300 and they resell it for thousands of dollars. Ooh, look at this. Hey, I'm walking here. Oh, I love your name. Used to work in this area. Oh, cool. I met Liza Minnelli in London. Oh, that's awesome. You're now one of my favorite YouTube channels. Oh, I'm so glad. Look at this jacket. Wow. It's like a dress jacket. Oh, that's so cool. Ah, look at that. Check eBay later for Montclair jackets. Okay. What's my favorite clothing brand? Right now, it's the company called Sovereign Code because of their shirts. Uniqlo, I like. I love Uniqlo. Uniqlo is an excellent, excellent brand. Their jeans are actually based on the way more expensive jeans of APC, which is a clothing store, a jeans store here in Soho. And they sell their jeans for like $300, $400, $500. Uniqlo, you could get the jeans for 30 bucks. And they're almost the same style. They are the same style, and they're almost the same fit and quality. Just a lot of people don't know that, or they're not willing to admit that to themselves. And I've heard this from fashion insiders, people who work in the industry, so that's why I like Uniqlo. You know, I would love to support a small business when it comes to like jeans, but small business jeans cost usually in the hundreds, unfortunately. Let me know, what's your favorite destination for clothing in New York City? Let me know in the comments. Why did you stop? Oh, I think Oh, so Mr. Bot, you say Montclair seems to be hot with Gen Z for the winter. Maybe, yeah. Are they an older company? I'm strictly thrift shop, says Ride My Truck. Yeah, I don't blame you, Ride My Truck. It's a better, like, you can be as fashionable or as comfy, whatever you want, practical, fashion, doesn't matter. It could be both. I usually go for both for very cheap here in New York City. Don't think that these stores are the only options. We're just looking at a small segment of New York. Someone said, I'm the most extroverted man they've ever seen. Probably not as extroverted as another YouTube creator by the name of Bald and Bankrupt. Watch his videos. I think he beats me by a mile. That man is the most extroverted man on YouTube. Montclair is a high-end brand from Italy. Oh, interesting. Okay. Jose, you like H&M. Oh, cool. Jose. Ooh. Montclair is big in Europe. I work pre-COVID on cruise ships, says Lynn in his life. Oh, cool. It's big in Europe. Oh, interesting. AG Jeans. Yeah, they're nearby. Yeah, AG is also here. Oh, I gotta go. Wilson. Okay. Here's Coach. I know a lot of people who love Coach. Family members, to be specific. New York City's so vast. Oh, yeah. All right, let me see if I can find one particular spot. Over $1,300 for a puffer jacket at Montclair. Whoa, it's crazy expensive for a jacket. All right. Is it this one? Oh, this is the cake shop. Oh wow, Harbs has like a huge area to sit. Oh wow. Okay, so we passed it a little bit. Let me go a little bit further back down. What was your PayPal for a tip? Oh yeah, thank you. Alejandro. Oh, beautiful cake shop. Huh? It's huge. So guys, I opened up a store right over here. I hope you enjoy it. Decided to call it Ari, even though I never go by the name of Ari. Just so people don't fully know it's by me. You can visit here, Ari, by Ariel. That's the name. Jose, I'm pretty much full. I did a food segment in the beginning of this video. All right, so I kind of walked a little bit too far. It's a little bit further down.
Nobody did.
Ride My Truck, thank you so much for... Oh, who was it? Someone said about walking their dog. Missed it. Oh, Kitoka, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. Can we call you sometimes Ari or no? Just Ariel. No Ari for me. Wayne says congratulations. I'm joking, by the way. Just FYI, I am indeed joking. It is. I did not open up a clothing store named Ari. What was the name? It was called Habar's. Habar. Apostrophe S. So this was at 141. Really? Oh, it was this one. Oh, it's this one. Oh. Oh, yeah. Okay. I walked by it. Did not realize because of the shades are closed. But this is the art gallery that Charlotte used to work in Sex and the City. Right here. This is the Louis K. Meisel Gallery. Unfortunately, it's closed. They don't have the windows open. But this is where she used to work. In Sex and the City. So, you would think, if you've seen the show, you probably wondered, why did she stop working there? Because out of nowhere in season 2, she decided to just quit her job at the art gallery. And they said in the context of the show, it was because she, I think she was hooking up with the name of the guy played by McLaughlin. I forgot his name. And if anyone can remind me, her first husband. However, a lot of people thought, oh, this is so anti-feminist. You know, she's quitting her job in order to, you know, become a housewife. The real reason why they end up changing that plot line, because they fully intended for Charlotte to continue working at the gallery. And she was like the manager of the gallery by that time. His name was Trey, thank you, played by Kyle MacLachlan, thank you. The real reason is because the first time they filmed here, they charged $12,000. Then they did a second episode where they charged about like $20 something thousand. And then they wanted to film a third episode for season 2 to show a little bit more of the progression of her becoming a art dealer. And they wanted to charge a whopping $37,000 to film one episode in this art gallery. It's a reasonable price for a Hollywood shoot, but for a television shoot that they wanted it to be a recurring location, it was way too much. So they decided for Charlotte to want to become a housewife. Not due to any, story reasons, but due to economic reasons. That's why. Yeah, they were overcharging. I think they probably didn't want them to film here. That's why they charged too much. Maybe, and this was before Sex and the City blew up in season 3. So I think they just didn't want them to film here. That's why they were overcharging. But little did they know, if they kept letting them film for a reasonable price, this might have become a much bigger art gallery. Who knows? Maybe they missed their chance. All right, let's continue walking around. Supply and demand. Indeed. What's that odd statue? It's a sculpture. And someone left a super chat. Ooh, cool. Thank you. Hey, Samuel. Samuel, I like your name, Samuel. Hello from Chester, UK. I visit New York City every couple of months, but sadly COVID kept you away. You missed the city, so thanks for bringing New York City to me. Oh, I'm so glad, Samuel. I'm glad you enjoy this. Thank you so much for your super chat. $9.99. I appreciate you, Samuel. So that was just a sculpture right behind me. I'm not sure who is it by. Probably when they sell it. Lots of hyper real art. Oh, interesting. Do you hear about the new 1600 plus super tower coming in where the Grand High is? Ooh, not yet, New Jersey. I gotta look into that. Do they want to best the Freedom Tower? The Freedom Tower is 1,776 feet. So. Native American says, because I'm old and I have medical problems, I can't travel, but you can with me. Oh, so glad I can show you around. Thank you so much for tuning in. All right, everyone, I'm running out of battery, so I can do 5 more minutes. let's walk towards the end of Spring Street. I appreciate everyone tuning in. Rima Truck says, don't end, please. I will come to an end, but stay tuned next Wednesday at 1 p.m. and press that notification bell button on YouTube, because you never know if I'm going to do an extra live video like I did today. And I'll probably do other extra live videos, most likely, because I want to enjoy the good weather before all gets super cold and the pandemic gets any worse.
No, that and just like.
Are you on tomorrow, Wayne? Oh, I'm not sure. Next official live stream, Wednesday, 1 p.m. Everything else is surprise, unplanned, spontaneous. This walk was a success. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad you guys enjoyed a special dinner talk with the Cosmopolitan for Sex and the City tour. This was Sex and the City, New York edition. Beautiful restaurants all around. You made my Saturday quarantine night cheer. Oh, I'm so glad. Alej from Geneva. Ooh, I was assuming your name was Alejandro, but it's probably something else. Thank you so much for watching. I'll show you I think the prettiest restaurant here in New York City. I actually never been to it, but I'll end right here, 1 block away. Appreciate you, Ariel. Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you, Lori. So welcome for the nice walk. Hopefully you'll get to see all the comments I made on your walkthrough. Oh, Lisbon, sorry I missed a lot of comments, but I appreciate you commenting. Here's the Dutch. And one more block, let me show you. Right here is the fanciest, one of the most prettiest restaurants I've ever seen. And still yet to visit. Be safe, thanks for the walk and convo. You're right, my name is Alejandro. Oh, cool, abrazos. Más seguro es español, que se te mudaste a Suiza. Qué bien, gracias por viendo la transmisión. All right, right here. The Prince. Oh, they don't have outdoor seating. I am shocked. No outdoor seating at the Prince. But this is one of the most prettiest restaurants I've ever seen in New York City. They're closed, unfortunately. And we reached 6th Avenue. Avenue of the Americas. Address. This is called the Prince. It's on Prince Street and 6th Avenue. That's the intersection. So O'Neill's is the place we went to. And there's a bunch of restaurants here. I'll end with the views of the Empire State Building peeking right down there. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed these videos, I appreciate everyone who's been a PayPaler, Star Sender, supporter, Patreon member, and all the other people. Thank you so much for lending your support. And thank you so much for commenting, sharing, liking, and someone left a super chat at the very last second. Steven, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate you. Everyone, keep being awesome and always keep on exploring. And cue the music. Dun, 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 dun. Have a great day, everyone.